Aircraft I described earlier as an Art Deco aeroplane, and so it is. Beautiful design. The WACO UPF-7. As I said, built in 41. But found and restored by Tom Flock. Now, Tom Flock was one of those people who basically committed his whole life to WACO aircraft, their restoration and getting them in the air again. In 1991, he restored this particular aircraft to fly. And you can see that the registration of the aircraft is the same as its designation, UPF. And I'd always wondered, I'm very grateful actually to the owner of this aircraft for explaining what that meant to me, because U stands for the fact that it's fitted with a Continental W670 engine. P means it's a biplane with a wide undercarriage. Airframe is an F series, UPF, and the 7 being the original design year, which of course is 1937. I always wondered that. Cruising speed on this aircraft with the Continental engine, which produces 220 horsepower, is 110 miles an hour. As I said, very, very popular, particularly with air racing pilots in the late 1920s and early 30s. WACO produced just some beautiful pilots. They really are. This aircraft owned by David Peters and Nigel Finlayson, and many thanks to them for bringing it here today. Bob Morecambe showing it off to the crowd. Bob, of course, needs no introduction to anyone who's seen him fly both here and at Shuttleworth. Now, this particular version of the aircraft is essentially a sort of state-of-the-art refinement of the 1930s model. Retained all the major features, the staggered wings, strut-connected ailerons. The earlier Fs were all built as three-seaters, however, with two passengers seated side by side in the front cockpit. The UPF-7 was intended to be a dual-control trainer, but when the stick was removed, the front seat was still wide enough to accommodate two passengers, making it quite a useful touring aircraft. Now, during the Second World War, WACO were of course very, very busy producing things like the WACO CG-4 Hadrian assault glider, obviously used in very large numbers during such operations as D-Day, Operation Dragoon and Operation Market Garden. But they were still producing these aircraft. In fact, they produced over 700 of this particular type, the UPF-7, for the civilian pilot training program. During the Second World War, of course, a lot of civil aircraft were impressed into military duty, including a number of these WACO biplanes, which saw action as light transports and utility aircraft with the designation C-72. Well, Morecambe just coming in to land there. And I must say many thanks to David Peters and Nigel Finlayson for allowing us to see that aircraft here